Hey, Whip It Like Butter family, y'all, I'm too excited to be bringing you the Mile High version of one of my all-time favorite pound cakes, y'all. Sour cream pound cake. And y'all almost thought about putting some powdered sugar on here to make it real pretty for the pictures, my blog. And I was like, this cake doesn't need anything on it. You can add some powdered sugar for a little pizzazz. You can add some icing. If I had anything, it'd be like some fruit and like some whipped topping or something like that to have on the side, like some strawberries and some blueberries or something like that. But this cake is a star all by itself. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. So I'll show y'all how we do it. Let's go. All right, it's time to whip that butter. We're using 4 sticks because this is a Mile High pound cake, and we're going to get that all nice and blended before we start slowly adding in our granulated sugar. And we're going to blend that together till it's nice, light, and fluffy. So maybe 5 minutes. Y'all know how I say it's a look more than a feel. You see how it's coming together and it starts kind of sticking to the sides of the bowl. It's going to stick more and more as it's getting to that point. Okay, we're going to go ahead and scrape down the sides of the bowl right here, and then we're going to start adding in our extracts. Okay, so I went ahead and measured and placed my extracts in here now because, like I told y'all before, that sometimes when you pre-measure and you let them sit, they evaporate a little bit. So I don't prepare them along with my other ingredients that I set out usually, or I do them last. So we're adding our eggs in one at a time. We're using 10, yes, 10 honey, room temperature eggs. Make sure that the egg that you add is blended before you add in the next egg. So I just sped it up real quick right here so you can see that process. All right, we're scraping down the sides of our bowl again. All right, very important what you see it sticking to the side like that. And then we're adding in our flour here, and we're going to alternate with our sour cream. Of course, beginning with our flour and ending with our flour. This is a lot of cake, y'all, so make sure that you have a big enough mixer, or that you have a big enough bowl if you're using a hand mixer, and you take it slow, because I had to take it slow with this even though this is a big bowl. And I should use a splash guard, but y'all, I just, when you're adding the wet ingredients, and it can prevent it from sliding so smoothly down the chute. If y'all got some tips or whatever, let me know. But as for right now, I'm just going to stick with the method I'm using and not get a splash guard. But feel free to buy one if you like. All right, so I'm spinning it up here so you can see that process. I really just took my time going back and forth. Like I always tell you, you can do this in threes, you can do it in fours. As long as you start with your flour and you end with your flour. And y'all leave a little bit, like how it's sticking to the side, leave a little bit at the end and hand mix that in so you're not over mixing your flour. If you have an issue with over mixing, you may want to mix your flour, all of it, by hand. That could be a little cumbersome, but it's a tip, until you can maybe get to a better point where you're not having over mixing and streaking and your cake falling and stuff like that. Because I know a lot of people do have issues with that sometimes. And we're going to spray the hell out of that pan. Make sure you get all the creases and the crevices. Don't forget the middle part, because your cake can stick in any part of the pan. And I've heard people ask before, can this pan be used without baking spray? I've never used it like that. I don't know that type of non-stick pan, so I always still prep it. All right, so we laying that batter in there, making sure that we smooth the top. We're going to bake this cake at 325 degrees for an hour and 30 to 40 minutes, y'all. This is a lot of cake, so take your time and let it do its thing. Tap it a little bit and then pop that in the oven and let it go. All right, and here we are. We've let it cool in our pan for 20 minutes, so we're going to flip that thing over, y'all. Ooh, y'all know this is the part where you brace yourself, because you never know how that cake's gonna come out. But honey, that cake came out so beautiful. Look at that. All nice and evenly cooked. And we're gonna go ahead and give this a nice slice before we get into the taste test. Now, this is one of my all-time favorite cakes, my favorite plain cakes. I know some people cringe a little bit about the thought of adding sour cream into a cake, but you don't taste it. It gives it so much of a nice flavor. You definitely gotta try it. All right, let's get into the taste test. Y'all ready for the greedy part? So y'all can see how good this cake is. And you can go ahead and grab you an 18-cup pound cake pan. You can get the link in my Amazon store, so you can go ahead and get yours and make this cake. Y'all, it's crusty. Crusty, on top, whatever you want to call it. It was bottom in this case. That's my favorite part. I'm just gonna have to eat that part first. Y'all, I let this cake marinate for 2 days because I know once you let it marinate a little bit, put in my cake keeper, those seasonings really set in. It's almost like rice and gravy. And I knew it was really gonna be good. And it is good and moist. This cake gets better over time. Y'all, it's definitely busting. Ooh, it's a lot of cake, but it's so good. That's why I just cut a small slice. Sounds like I'll cut a big slice for the video. I changed my mind. But anyway, I'm just rambling. You know, I want y'all to grab the recipe. So go ahead and click the link in the comments so you can get the recipe, some tips and everything. So you can go ahead and make this cake and you enjoy it just like me, y'all. Don't be stingy. Make sure that you share, like this video, and subscribe. And we'll catch y'all later. Bye. Yes, and this is crusty part right here.